It's your weekly video. Let's talk about how letting more people out of prison could be good for correctional officers. Did you think I was going to talk about what correctional officers need? You did not, nor did I. But here we are because there is a national shortage right now of correctional officers. Prisons and jails are unsurprisingly having a very hard time getting people to take jobs where you work long hours in an incredibly wrenching, horrible environment like a prison or a jail. And a lot of the reporting on this is focused on how will we find people to take these jobs? Okay, here's a thought. Instead of increasing staffing of COs, what if we reduced the number of people those COs had to look after so that you didn't need as many COs in the first place? Hear me out. Parole is being massively underutilized in this country. If you don't know much about it, you probably think of parole as this fair hearing that people get to say, hey, I've served good time. I've done really well here. I'm ready to go home now. And the parole board can say, yes, you're right. You worked really hard and you can go home now. Problem is, that's not how it works. Parole opportunities only come up for people in prison every few years. And parole boards are so overwhelmingly likely to say no to everybody that the number of people maxing out their sentence instead of getting parole in this country has doubled over the last 2 decades. Parole boards say no to everyone. And worse, when they say no, you don't get to try again the next year. Often you might not get to try again for another 5 years of time, 5 years of your life waiting. Also, perversely, parole boards are most likely to say no to people over the age of 60. This is because parole boards are often much more concerned with optics than with actual safety. People over 60 are really unlikely to commit new crimes if they're released. But often they're there in prison at the age of 60 because of something that they engaged in decades ago, which might have been a very serious offense. So the parole board gets distracted by the seriousness of the decades-old thing and doesn't encounter the reality that this person is no risk to society for release now. This has gotten so bad that by 2030, it's projected that the number of elders in prison will be 4,400% higher than it was in 1980. There are a lot of people in prison who we could release safely right now. Why don't we do that?